There is a massive economic storm coming to the United States. I've been warning you for months now, and it's finally here. Dozens upon dozens of U.S. companies are cutting their costs in 2024. You know what this means? Layoffs for the American people. That's right. This is really scary for individuals and families across the country. We've seen the data. Americans are not set up for financial emergencies. They don't have savings accounts. They have tons of credit card debt right now. Worst of all, they have one income stream, their job. This is not a good position to be in when layoffs strike. And yet, we got these new jobs numbers that just came out. And it was hilarious to watch the mainstream media do a song and dance about it. CNBC, when the breaking news came in with the new jobs numbers, it was hilarious. Hotter than expected jobs numbers. But they didn't take the time to do their homework. If they did, they would have seen that actually full-time employment has plummeted and secondary jobs, 2 jobs, part-time jobs have exploded. So what does that mean? Americans are losing their long-time full-time jobs, and they're replacing them with double payrolls, 2 part-time jobs just to make ends meet. And CNBC and the Biden administration were applauding that. Hey, we increased the number of payrolls in America. That's great. Oh, no, you're lying once again. 2024 is the year of the layoff right now, and things are going to get worse before they get better. We're going from quiet cutting to loud, blatant, widespread, aggressive cutting. Many U.S. companies have announced their plans to cut costs this year. They're telling you it is coming, okay? They've signaled it. CNBC reported that corporate America is announcing layoffs across the board. So it's amazing that CNBC can make that announcement and yet not put 2 and 2 together to see that long-term, full-time jobs are declining. This is in every industry imaginable. We're talking department stores, software, toys, cosmetics, airlines, media companies. Bloomberg as well reported layoffs from tech, retail, and more. Watch.
Former World Bank President Paul Wolfowitz once said about firing employees, that's unfortunately part of doing business. And there's a lot of that sort of business being done these days. Just ask the 3,000 people being laid off at Estee Lauder.
Cutting as much as 3,000 positions. We continue to see job cuts. This is part of a restructuring plan to put one of the world's largest beauty companies back on track. Many investors, as we know, would have said this was long in coming.
Or the 32,000 tech employees let go already this year, including 10% of those working at Snap.
Snap saying these cuts are being made to, quote, best position our business to execute on our highest priorities. It's been facing that deceleration in ad revenue, as have many of its tech peers.
Or the 12,000 people in management at UPS who are about to be shown the door.
And what they're really doing is looking at the structure of their networks, whether that is their labor network and then their management ranks. They're looking at their brokerage business. They've decided to put that under strategic review. What it is showing us is that they're taking a hard look at their costs. And, we would probably have to say UPS and some other large transportation companies have gotten fat over the years.
Not even those in the relatively new departments devoted to diversity, equity, and inclusion are immune, as we heard this week that Zoom is shuttering the entire operation and outsourcing it.
These companies are dedicated to cutting costs this year, and they're doing this whether they're profitable or not. There's no limit to what's happening here, and no one is safe. Here's what's behind the major layoffs happening this year. So inflation. Inflation hasn't been kind to anyone, and most people have less expendable income. So as consumers cut back on spending, corporations are feeling pressure from their shareholders to do the very same thing. And in years past, companies could get away with passing down higher costs to the customer. But because of inflation, resuming student loan payments, and other economic factors, people are simply spending less overall. Corporations cutting costs across the board to increase their bottom line. And the easiest way to do it is by mass layoffs. Technology, financial companies are at the forefront, but no industry is safe. Here are just a few examples. Macy's plans to close 5 major stores, cutting 2,300 jobs. JetBlue Airways, Spirit Airlines, huge staff buyouts. UPS cutting 12,000 jobs just months after reaching a union deal. Figure that, right? Paramount announced hundreds of layoffs. Maybe people are sick and tired of their woke content. Maybe you'll learn a lesson. Chipotle testing an avocado scooping robot to replace workers. Do you know Chipotle already rolled out different robots to deliver food to people? Chick-fil-A did the same thing. So now after you get your order, you sit at your table, a robot will bring it to you because, you know what? A lot cheaper than having a human being. And those are just a few examples right now. Outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas reported a total of 84,000 planned cuts in February alone. The firm's labor and workplace expert said, as we navigate the start of 2024 into the summer, we're witnessing a persistent wave of layoffs. And we're just getting started with the year of the layoff. I mean, we'll see how it ends up at the end of 2024. Your company is not loyal to you, guys. Remember that. No sector, no industry, no company or role is safe. Transportation, manufacturing, energy, food, manufacturers, media have all been affected. Heck, the same report announced that even education has announced more job cuts this year. Layoffs for teachers? Really? I mean, that's the most absurd thing I've heard since avocado scooping robot right now. But it's okay. The Biden administration just sent another $40 billion to Ukraine. We can help them. We are paying the pensions and salaries of their workers in Ukraine, by the way, just so you know. That's true. There's never been a more important time to take control of your finances in the United States because the government's not going to do it for you. Get out of high interest debt, diversify your income streams, and I hope that you've been listening to the messages that I've been sharing here on this channel, okay? Now more than ever is the time to take control of your financial future. Do it. The government keeps pushing this narrative that there's no recession and unemployment numbers are low, yet layoffs for February and early part of 2024 are at the highest level since 2009, for crying out loud. The government keeps pushing this narrative that there's no recession, and yet we just got jobs numbers showing that the layoffs for February into March were the highest they've been since 2009. This is not good. This is why the Biden administration pushing the idea that Bidenomics is actually creating more jobs. It's just not the case, unless we're talking about senior citizens delivering pizzas to pay their bills during retirement. Seriously. Watch my video on retirement if you want to hear the truth about the massive failure in the American retirement system. And when you combine this news about layoffs with the atrocious state of credit card debt, we're looking at a really troubling situation for the American people right now. And that's a whole other issue. But if you haven't yet seen my videos on the credit card crisis we're facing, you want to check out those next videos. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and we'll see you next time. It's no secret the U.S. economy is in shambles, but the politicians will lie to you about how good it is or how bad it is, right? With high inflation, high housing costs, instability in the global market, it's fair to be worried about the future of the economy and your money. And after all, you know what your family's finances look like. The politicians don't. You know how much more now it costs for you to buy eggs and gas and to pay your rent. They don't. 2/3 of Americans have admitted being worried about money. Are you one of them? And with such uncertainty on the horizon, it doesn't surprise me that I get asked all the time about a possibility of a recession. So today I thought, let's sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Okay, listen, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not even an economist. But even if I were, no one has a crystal ball. In times like these, it's more important to focus on what you can control versus what you cannot control. And that's really what I want you to take away from this conversation today. Unfortunately, factors like inflation, national debt, the high cost of living are largely out of our control. So on the other side of the coin, think about the factors that are in your control. How can you protect yourself? How can you prepare for the worst right now? Number one, start early by building your financial education. I believe that a strong financial education is one of the most overlooked and overvalued things you need to survive in today's world. Luckily, building a strong financial education is free. You can start right now. You can go to your local library and check out a number of books. I was standing down in my library in my house with my wife. We were just going through some books the other day, looking if there was anything we wanted to donate to the school and that sort of stuff. And we had a couple of extra financial and investment books. And I said, someone could really learn a lot from these. And so we're going to donate them to our local library. Books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I had an extra copy signed by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm keeping my signed copy from my friend. I'm going to donate the other one. ABC's of Real Estate Investing from my friend Ken McElroy. I've got an extra copy. I'm going to donate that to the school. You can go down and learn enormous volumes of information for free from your local library or right here on this channel, right here on this YouTube channel. You could literally build financial independence and education from this YouTube channel. If you're a beginner, here's what I'd suggest. Go out right now. Buy Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or go to the library and get it for free to read, okay? Rich Dad, Poor Dad by my friend Robert Kiyosaki. I try to read it like once a year, once every 2 years. I'm going to link it up for you below, but don't discount the power of going to your local library, okay, guys? I'm going to put the Amazon link there, but go to your local library and get it for free. This is a great way to gain exposure to other financial topics and ideas. And of course, the other benefit, yes, It's free, as I mentioned. The other thing I would recommend is watching this video that I'm going to link for you as well. It's called The Foundations of Financial Intelligence. Seriously, I want you to watch this video next because you're going to learn everything you need to know about assets and liabilities, understanding your numbers and your debt, and much, much more. All right, number 2, make yourself more valuable. Most millionaires have 7 streams of income. Most Americans have 1, their job. So what happens if you lose that job in a recession? Having only 1 stream of income makes you especially vulnerable in the event of a recession. That's why now is the time to start thinking about ways that you can diversify your skills or your income. What skills or interests do you have that would allow you to bring in more money? I know this might sound like just another thing to add on to your to-do list right now, but it's actually really exciting if you can change your mindset about it. That's exactly what I want you to take away from this video. Empowerment. Maybe you know how to play guitar pretty well. Maybe you've spent 10, 15 years playing guitar or piano in your spare time, and you have a really good grasp of it. Remember, you can teach other people how to do this, right? You could put together a course. You could put together a YouTube channel and earn revenue from a YouTube channel. And then you could actually eventually sell a course or a downloadable product. You could actually write out tablature or notes that you can sell. It happens all the time. And you might think, who's going to, buy music from me? I'm not a great piano player. It doesn't matter. You only need to be better than the other guy. That's it. That's what teachers are, okay? And you can teach other people and you can make revenue from doing that. You have the ability to influence your situation. So let's just do that instead of being scared. Number 3, get rid of expensive debt or bad debt. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Americans who are paying upwards of 20% interest on credit card balances. You do not want to be carrying around bad debt or expensive debt in a recession. So now is the time. Do what you can to start paying it down, restructuring it. Maybe you could actually combine it and pay it off more quickly, okay? I have an entire video where I share credit card payment strategies. So I'm going to link that for you here as well. Paying down bad debts now is a smart move because it gets you out of the interest payment game, reduces your monthly expenses, takes away the risk of holding debt. Number 4, flock to inflation-proof, recession-resistant assets. Say that 5 times fast. Flock to inflation-proof, recession-resistant assets. Buying hard assets is the number 1 way to protect your wealth in the event of a recession. No contest at all. I believe that rental properties are the best way to invest, especially if you're in a strong rental market. Okay, look into real estate investing. I've got a whole channel here that can help you do it. Number 5, learn how to win in any market cycle. How could you benefit right now from economic uncertainty? Well, you can invest wisely right now while people are running scared, right? This is what Warren Buffett has always talked about. It is very possible to profit during a recession instead of fail. Think about all of the people who were very, very smart when the housing market was collapsing, who bought incredible deals. They were sitting on cash because they knew it was coming. They saw the writing on the wall. And then when everyone else was freaking out and all of these foreclosures were popping up, they swooped in and bought up incredible deals. Absolutely incredible. So the trick is to always be looking for ways to benefit from what's going on in the market cycle. Smart investors are always preparing. They aren't scared of market cycles. Warren Buffett right now, Berkshire Hathaway, they are sitting on absolute mountains, billions of dollars in cash because they know something is about to happen and they are waiting to go buying. They are waiting to go on sale, go to the mall because it's about to be a bonanza. So I have a whole nother video for you. It's called How to Win in Today's Market. Go ahead, click on that one next right here. And thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you next time.